Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Shinkalion Z E6 Nex set from Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion Z the animation. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's N'(EX). Apparently that is the name of the smaller train. This is the E6 Komachi, which is the same name from the original Shinkalion show. I'm assuming that's just the name of the train in Japan. But yeah, so you have the Komachi and then you have the Nex. So those are the two trains, and then for whatever reason, whenever they do one of these combined sets, they give you the number from the first train and then just the name of the second train. So that's what's going on there. But if we take a look over here on the side, you can see the two trains, the E6 Komachi, and then you have the E259 Nex. So pretty cool. Taking a look at the rest of the packaging here on the front, you have some cool artwork here. Basically, I'm assuming this is the render from the show. I've still not seen the show yet. I'm trying to find somewhere where I can watch it online. And then I guess this is the pilot down here in the corner. Again, not 100% sure, but that would make sense. And then not really too much going on the top or the bottom there. Over here on this side, if I pan the camera up, you will see we have the train, we have the robot mode, we have the smaller train, and then we have the combined mode. He gives us new pants. If we spin around to the back, you can see this in a little bit greater detail. So it looks like this guy's weapon of choice is twin cannons, which is pretty cool. Looks like he can mount them on the shoulders as well. And like I said, the smaller train gives him new legs. Not really quite sure what they add. Maybe they give him some kind of speed increase or something on the show. I'm not sure. And then again, of course, you can mix and match with any of the other arms and legs from the other sets. That's the nice thing about this toy line. All the arms and legs are completely interchangeable. So whatever crazy combinations you can come up with, you can make. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the box, and we're going to take a closer look. So here are all the pieces you get in the box. Everything from here over is for the E259 Nex. And then everything from here over is for the E6 Komachi. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to assemble everything. We'll just put this stuff a little bit off to the side for now, and we will deal with this stuff. So first thing you can do to get this middle car situated, you have this piece here with the wheels. You're going to take these two smaller gun pieces and just go ahead and peg them inside here. And then you're going to just drop this right over top of that. And that is going to form... Do I have this on backwards? I do have this on backwards. Okay, let me try this again. I'm going to... I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of peg them in the other way and it'll still... this will close over top. You just have to make sure that because this piece goes vertically, it has the larger notch where this has the side-to-side notch. And I like to have this part towards the back of the middle compartment, so you could really do it the other way and it wouldn't really matter. But... there you go, that is the middle part of the train, so we're going to put that off to the side. Then we're going to come over here to this top head section. You have to make sure that this is not, when this is pegged all the way back like that, this piece will not move. So you have to make sure that you pop this in first, and then this will fold down, and then this piece will close over top. And there you have the front section of the train. These are going to be the two arms. As you can see, they come all folded up like this. We're going to just peg these two together, and then these two are going to peg in back here. So that's just going to snap in like so. And pop that all in, and then there you go. You pretty much have the whole front part of the train. We're going to take these. Now, because we have this facing forward and this has the latch vertically, we're going to want to use this connection piece, and that's going to clip on right there. And then you take one of the ones that does not have a connection piece, and that's going to peg in there. And so there's the front part of our train, so we'll put that off to the side. And the rest of this is going to go together pretty quickly. So this is going to become the waist section and kind of thighs of the robot. We're going to take these sections here, and you can see how there are two little peg holes there on the side. There are two pegs there. So this is going to peg in like so. Take the other one, peg this on as well. And then that's going to all snap together. You take these two sections here, and they are going to peg in here on the front. There is a little tab right there, and that's going to tab in right there, and they're also going to peg into each other. So you just go ahead and peg that all on there, and then this is the back part of the train. And then we're going to do the same thing where we connect these pieces to the front. And then that's going to peg in there. And then we're going to bring all the train pieces together. We just clip this on there. And then this part clips on to the front. And then there we go. We have the fully assembled train. And it rolls very nicely. It is completely plow rail compatible. So if you do have plow rail track, this will work. And that's pretty much it for the main train, the E6 Komach. But let's go ahead and bring those pieces back in for the E259 necks. So these two giant sections here are going to peg into each other. And then these smaller sections, you can see the pegs there and the peg holes on the side. And that's just going to peg right on there. This one's very, very simple to assemble, as you can see. And that's pretty much it. So then we're going to take this. You're going to want to peg this into the set of pegs all the way in the back. And then this one goes in the set of pegs all the way in the front. Or peg holes, I should say. And that's it. That's pretty much that. If you want to take these guns, you can go ahead and peg these onto the side. You would probably want to push those pegs up. And now I've put this one on upside down. So there you go. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to see a commuter train with giant guns on the side, but you can certainly do it. You could also move them up to this set of pegs, whichever you prefer. They can peg into either the bottom set or the lower set. I kind of like the higher set of pegs, just my personal preference, but kind of makes it look like an alien ship with the kind of fins and the guns or something like that. So I think that's kind of neat. Now this has the one connection point on the back, so unfortunately it's not going to just like link. Like I really wish you could kind of just link this here. But basically what you could do is you could take this one off and sub this one in its place. So we go ahead and just connect this on here like so. So you could do something like that, or you could try to, you know, have him pull this train and then take this off and connect this one straight onto here. So you can make two trains like that. It's really up to you, however you want to connect them around. But unfortunately, you can't really connect all four directly into each other, which is kind of a bummer because he only has the connection on the back. So however you want to mix and match the trains, you can. But you can't connect all four to each other, which is a bit of a bummer, but not a huge problem. But you do have some, you know, different compatibility configurations you can do, which is kind of fun. So let's go ahead and get into the base robot transformation, then we'll get into the auxiliary car after that. For simplicity's sake, I've gone ahead and disconnected the three cars. This is going to be very simple. We're just going to take this off. We're going to remove the two weapons. And then you can go ahead and just pop this back on. And then really, we're just going to put this off to the side. This doesn't get used for anything. It's really just for storage for the weapons in the train mode. So we're going to put these guys off to the side for a moment. And then we're going to come back. We're going to unpeg all of these rail pieces. Now, I like that they did this. The old molds for the original Shinkalion had the wheels all built in. And then these little connector pieces, they tried to like have them swing around and clip into the arms, but they still kind of wobbled a little bit. So I do appreciate that they completely come off because it keeps the robot modes looking very clean. But there's no great place to store these. I kind of wish they fit nicely inside this. They don't. You can kind of fit the ones that don't have the connector pieces in there, but then you're just kind of left with these extra pieces. So you really just have a ton of these, you know, depending on how many, once you get a couple trains under your belt, you've just got a ton of these things all over the place. So I wish there was some kind of better storage method for these. It's not a big deal. You just put them off to the side and you're ready to get into the transformation here. So we're going to pop this section off. This is going to split in half. These are going to be our two arms. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go ahead and take the bottom section. We're going to completely disassemble this. These pieces are all going to pop off. They were all just kind of pegged in around the waist and thigh section. So we're going to just take these off. We're going to flip up this section here for the waist. There you go. And you can see there are two stickers there. You have nice ratchet joint here in the hip for front to back and out to the side. You have a thigh swivel. You have a double jointed knee, as you can see, which also has some really nice ratchets you can hear there. So that's really nice. And then this is going to swivel for a waist swivel. So that is our waist and thigh section. Let's go ahead and take these sections. This little panel right here will flip up. This piece down here will flip and snap, and then this will come around and snap into place, and then this folds back. Now you can see there are two connectors here. We're going to take this top section here. This is going to peg in, and you have to make sure you have clearance for it, so you might have to pull it out to the side. Get that to snap in. And then honestly for this side, because it has the peg, this will kind of naturally rest in that little indent there. It kind of works out well, so you know where to kind of keep that. So it's not really getting in the way, but you could kind of angle it a little bit forward. I remember with the old molds, they had you angle it forward. It's really just your personal preference. You could angle it back, you could angle it forward, you could have it straight up and down. You just have to make sure that peg clears so you don't accidentally snap it off. But then you're going to get a nice ball joint down here, so you have some ankle tilt forward to the side. That's really all the articulation you're going to get, since these are just kind of from the knee down, and all of the articulation is in here. And then you're just going to slide this in, and that's going to snap right into place very simply. So now we want to go ahead and repeat the process with this leg. This snaps down, this swings around, snaps into place. This pops out, tilted to the side. So we can go ahead and take this piece, peg it in, and then since this one doesn't have the peg, you just kind of line it up where you want. But then this is going to slide in as well. Boom. And then we can kind of use that ankle tilt to get him to stand. So we'll put that off to the side. Come over here. We will flip this out like so. This is going to flip up. Then this section is going to flip down and kind of snap in, and that keeps that from folding in. Then you're going to just fold this down, and that just sits against there like so. You're going to take this and you're going to drop it right on top of there, and then that's going to click into place. So I will zoom out a bit and angle the camera up. Let's take a quick look at the robot head sculpt while we have the time. I think it looks pretty good. Nice paint applications. I like the gold there on the crest. The yellow eyes look very sharp. You have a little bit of gold up here. And then you have kind of a ball joint. So you have up and down, side to side. Can't really tilt side to side, but it can certainly look side to side. And it can nod up and down. So pretty decent articulation there in the head. And then, like I said, you do have that waist swivel where that piece connects. So next up we have our two arms. Very, very simple to do these. This is going to swing down. This piece is going to fly back and kind of click into place. And then that'll click in at like a 45-degree angle. And then you just plug that in. Boom. Very easy. Repeat that over here with this arm. Click that into place. And then, whoops, click that into place. So now you have a nice ratchet here in the shoulder. You have a shoulder swivel here, kind of a hinge. You have a bicep swivel. You have 90 degrees, actually a little over 90 degrees in the elbow there. And then you do have a wrist swivel as well. So really nice articulation for these. They really do have some great posability. Now, I'm not great at posing figures, but there's a lot of nice poses you can put these guys in because they do have a great amount of articulation. And then we'll bring those little guns back in from earlier. And he's got two kind of cool little pistols here. Now, I would have loved it if they would have done some way, like he's kind of got these peg holes on the side of his thigh here. If they could have made it so that you could have pegged these in, because you do kind of have this room here that you could kind of peg this in, and then maybe like this would close kind of on the side. I don't know. I just think anytime someone has little pistols, I feel like they should have holsters, and I think that would have been really neat. All they would have really had to do is put a peg here, and then you could peg it into either one of these peg holes, whichever one you prefer. And if that could have just pegged in on the side, and then, you know, you could have just put this back, I feel like that would have worked perfectly as like little holsters for his pistols there. Now, it still looks good. He looks good wielding the two pistols, but I just think it would have been really neat if you could have pegged them in on the side there. I think that would have been a nice touch. But overall, the robot mode looks good. Like I said, a lot of great articulation. Color scheme's good. I love the dual pistols. Everything about this guy is pretty great. I'm going to put him slightly back, and we will bring in the necks. Now, of course, you have these two giant cannons here, so we're just going to take those. And then we're going to take these pieces off the side as well. And then just put these in the pile. You've probably already started with the ones from the other one. This is going to just completely come in half like this. This piece comes off the back. Do that for both. So the leg transformation is kind of weird in my opinion. So you have this giant kind of maroon piece here. This is going to lift up and swing down, and you can see that there's kind of this big tab here on the front that's going to peg in down here. And this is actually going to form a giant knee pad. That's what that's going to be. It looks at a place, it looks like it should be a foot or something, but it's actually just kind of a knee pad. So then this is going to pop out here, this section, like so. You're going to swivel this around, and then you're going to take the piece that was pegged in, and this is going to peg in over top, like so. And so then that just kind of hangs there. This flips forward, and then this flips down to form the heel, and then that's it. That's your leg. It's kind of a weird leg, I gotta be honest. The foot doesn't look that great to me. This section here, I feel like I would have rather had this be the kneecap and this be the foot. But it's okay. I mean, that's just what it is. So we're going to repeat that over here with this one. This is going to flip around, peg that in. This is going to pop up and then swivel around 180. This is going to drop in and peg in like that. And then this is going to flip out, and then we're going to get our heel. Now you do have a nice ankle tilt. So you can see there you have ankle tilt. You have a little bit of front to back movement as well. That's really it. Again, it's really just, you know, the shin and foot area, so it's not the bulk of the leg. But then we're going to go ahead, we're going to pop these off, and you really just put these off to the side. There's not really much else to do with them. And then you just drop this one in instead, and it clicks into place. And there we go. We have our new legs. They're very large. Technically you could mount a gun here on the shin. I just realized this here. So he has this. You could go ahead and get some crazy pistol shin caps or kneecaps. That's kind of hilarious. Obviously, these two new giant guns you can peg here, or I can't. It's kind of a tight fit. You can definitely do it, but there we go. You have to really line it up precise. So let me zoom out a bit here. So yeah, so I kind of like the crazy kneecap guns. I just realized was a possibility. They also want you to go ahead and peg this into the side here to kind of like load up on the firepower. To me, that's kind of a waste. I don't really think that's a great look, just having two guns next to each other like that. It's not a terrible look. I don't hate it, but what I would rather do, and I think this is one of the coolest configurations, he has these peg holes on the back of his shoulder, and there's just enough room that if you peg this in, this will drop down and becomes the perfect shoulder-mounted gun. So what I would do is take these, peg this in here, drop this down, and then give him the tiny pistols. So now he is totally tricked out and ready for battle. Now the only problem with that is because they are pegged onto the shoulders, you can't really move the arms without moving them. I kind of wish that they were maybe pegged on here somewhere, and then you could kind of move them over and so that they were independent of the arms. It's not a big deal. Still look good. I still really like the shoulder cannon mount there. And now he's got the firepower he needs. I do kind of still love the fact that you can pop them onto the kneecaps there. But yeah, it's a cool look. I mean, these pieces over here, I feel like because these just kind of hang out here, it makes the leg look fairly skinny. And this was kind of meant to give bulk, but it's because it's the hollow side. I feel like if I was seeing it like this, I feel like it would make it seem a little bit thicker. But because I'm kind of seeing the hollow side of it, it doesn't, you know, give the legs that bulk that I feel like they were going for. It's still not a bad look by any means. It still looks perfectly good. I just think, you know, these legs look a little bit more solid and bulky than these do. And honestly, you could go ahead and keep these legs and still use the big guns. I mean, you can mix and match again however you like. And you can bring in other robots. So like if we bring in the E5 over here, I can switch the legs out. I can switch the arms out. I can do whatever I want. So if I wanted to pop this out and, you know, give him this leg instead, you could certainly do it. I mean, you don't even have to do both. You could mix and match one leg, one, you know, whatever you want to do. I mean, that's the fun of this line. Everything is interchangeable. All the arms and legs can switch. mix and match, make whatever you want. I think that's pretty cool. Now, I will say that these new legs give him some height. And maybe it's just, I was going to say, maybe it's just the guns, but you can see quite a height difference there. So that's one thing to consider as well. Definitely give you some height with these legs. And maybe that's also why they look so thin to me, because they're much taller and longer. That could be it as well. But either way, I think the connectability is really fun. I think that's a fun part of the line. And I really like all the firepower. I love the shoulder cannons for this guy. I think it looks really good. I think this is a great set. I definitely love the firepower that this guy comes with. I love the 2 giant cannons for the shoulder-mounted look. I like the 2 little pistols. I do really wish there was a way you could kind of mount them on his hips. I just think that anytime someone has pistols, they should have the ability to holster them or something like that on the hip there. Would have been a really neat feature. All they would have had to do is put a little peg on the side, and it definitely could have clipped in there. The holes are already right there. So I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity. Not a huge deal, and certainly not a deal breaker by any means, but I would have liked to see that. Overall, fun color scheme. I think he looks good. I do think that the extra new legs look a little hollow, a little skinny, but they do give considerable height, which is nice. Yeah, not really too much to complain about. As far as stickers go, I didn't really mention it. There are a few. There's kind of 2 down here on his shins. There's some on the inside of the legs on both sets of legs. And then here on the kind of crotch plate and a little bit on the abdomen that you can barely even see. It is inside there. So not too bad for stickers. It really only took me about maybe 10-20 minutes to kind of go through all the pieces, put everything together, and then apply all the stickers. So it really wasn't too bad. But yeah, they're a fun set. I think the original Shinkalion toys were fun. I think these are fun, and these have the added play value of being able to switch the arms and legs. As many as you collect, you can make a bunch of different combinations, mix and match, find what works for you. I think it's really neat. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.